Alright, some calm, relaxed music as we get into the completely calm, serene, non-controversial topic. Oh shit, I'm even mentioned here. Oh shit, I didn't even notice that. You already dragged me in before I got to read it. Sam! And we're friends? Okay, that's good to know. It's good to know where I stand with this. So yeah, full disclosure, this was sent to me but like 2 days ago, I think, by Sam. I don't really go to the subreddit because, you know, it's kind of AIDS, so I'm not really on there. Last time I was, I think there was some bad blood towards my stuff as well. I didn't really follow up. I know, yeah, I may be on there like once every month or two. I click on it. Usually I just check the things that people send to me that are on the subreddit that people send in my Twitch chat. And then I'll look at those if they're, you know, relevant for what we're looking at. So I don't know what's going on with all of that. And as you guys also might know, I'm just kind of like a little bit of an island within like the MapleStory community. I don't really like. I try to do collabs with stuff, but I don't really go hard on like late game or end game community or anything like that. So I don't really have like a dog in a fight in that sense. But I have known Sam for a while, probably for like, I mean, like on and off. Because of like community content creation, probably for like 5 to 6 years. I mean, we've talked like, I don't know, I think less than 10 times, but I would say we're friendly. Like I said before during the stream, I like that he's kind of like unpredictable. Like he, well, actually, this is pretty topical, I guess, because like in the past, for some reason, every time, for you guys might know, I have a quite eclectic music taste. And we have the playlist with all the songs that people request during the chat and during the stream in a giant playlist. And for some reason, whenever Sam would join the stream, there would be like Gachi music playing, which for the people who don't know is basically sounds from gay porn used as grunting noises and stuff to reconstruct existing songs and make like new versions of them, which some of them are just like pure works of art. Others are, you know, just... It's funny to see the change to the lyrics. I just see it as it's like its own island little thing. I don't see it as necessary. We have had the discussion before on like, is it actually, you know, is it actually like pro-gay because you're like accepting it, or is it kind of like anti-gay because you're still keeping it as kind of like the butt of the joke because haha it's so gay. You could, you know, there's definitely arguments for both ways. But I've never seen any discussions in the chat that were like problematic surrounding it or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure we're all like in the area where it's just cool to listen to, and we're just like, it's not necessarily either one. It's just kind of cool. It's just kind of like nice music, both ways. But okay, I didn't mean it like that. But kind of the running joke was that whenever there was like Gachi playing, we were like, oh, maybe Sam's gonna drop by, and then it must have been like 10 times or something that he would join the chat and a Gachi was playing. And in the beginning, he kind of gave off the vibe like, oh my god, I don't want to listen to this. But then after a while, whenever he joined, he was like disappointed if there wasn't any Gachi playing, because it was like, that was kind of like his thing, that whenever he joined, there would be, you know, Gachi music in the background. And I will say that if you go purely by everything that's like written, and anyone who makes content, and you know, Sam is a content creator as well, anyone who makes content and streams and stuff, when you see something written down in a chat, in a YouTube comment, in a well, maybe in an email, you know, if people are so inclined, it's very easy if you just see the words on paper that you can take them in a certain way and run with that. So it's always good to like ask for clarification. I had a YouTube comment once where somebody just used the word yap, and I got fucking triggered, and I went in on them about like how important it is to have like the nuance, and you know, to give a full example, and you can't give like a short one-word answer to important questions like this. And then and I know this person on my YouTube content is like, you've been here for so long, and you know who I am, and you know that I do my best to give like the most full, complete answer to people. And I just went in on this guy. And this guy commented like, oh, I guess I shouldn't have used the word yap, but I just meant like you talk a lot, and it's like, it's good to have the full explanation. I didn't mean yap in like a bad way. I just meant it in like, you just say a lot of words, and that's just it. And I was like, oh. So I just got triggered over like nothing, right? It's like, it's very easy to just take one thing, to take one part of of a discussion, and then connect it to something that you know, oh, people usually use this poorly or in a negative way. Therefore, this whole statement must be like a super harsh critique, and this person must be going in super hard, right? And I noticed with Sam, like he has, people sometimes say that sometimes I have like quite a bit of sarcasm and like deadpan, like irony and stuff like that. But Sam has that way more than I do, where he'll just be, he'll just, it seems like he's be like shifting in like his mood or how he feels about something. If you don't actually listen to what he's saying, but you're like assuming a bunch of things what he's saying, you'll like lose him very quickly, because he doesn't move in like predictable ways like I know a lot of people would do. And that's kind of why our friendship, I think, or we call it a friendship, like he calls it a friendship, so I guess I'll call it the same thing, but like we don't have like a super deep friendship, but we've talked about things in the past and stuff, and how his life has been and everything. And I think he did stop making a lot of content and like privated all of his YouTube stuff as well a while ago, because of reception in the community as well. I don't know, I think people like to have other people that fall into a very specific mold and have a predictable like sense of beliefs once you know like 1 or 2 or 3 about them, so that you can safely endorse someone. But as soon as someone falls out of that, it can be very breaking with the pattern that you have, and be like, oh wait, I thought this was category A person, but it seems like they're not, so now you have to be super careful about everything, right? And that seems to be, I don't think it's a coincidence that would happen to Sam, because he's very much not like a super predictable cookie cutter, like I believe everything in category A like everyone else kind of person. He's very much like shaped by his life and his experiences, and has not just pure that one line. So with that in mind, and putting my cards on the table in the ways that I'm coming into this, I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is going on, because I think it also has to do with guild leadership, right? I'm also a guild leader. That's also very challenging depending on what you want to reach with your guild. Ups and downs, people leaving, people coming in, possible drama. Like there's always things that you're open to. And it seems to be an amalgamation of like all of those things put together. So I think it'd be an interesting test case to kind of see like what's actually going on here, and is it, if we can kind of figure out what the thing is. Must you have to prolong the video for ads? That's the only reason. Yeah, that's the only reason to do it. Sam's also very analytical in this stuff, so he basically wrote this like a manifesto. It's like 14 pages, but I think we can peruse through most of this. Wishing everyone happy Father's Day. I think that was yesterday or last week for most people, right? Depending where you are. Happy Juneteenth. I have no idea what the fuck that is. I'd like to enjoy all of you to celebrate our nation's second Independence Day and announce... Oh, is that what that is? Announce that in the parlance of our times, it appears it will also become celebratorily independent in the coming weeks. Oh yeah, so this was titled like my last letter as a content creator or something. Yeah, I'll be perfectly honest, I don't really follow other content creators' content very much. Over the years, I have subscribed to some people who also make content, so I'll see their videos here and there, like Corporsense and stuff, but I do very little in terms of like watching other people's content, because I'm just so many hours going to the content making for myself that I don't really keep up, unless people link stuff to me. There's a lot of recapping and addressing the recent humors, innuendo, and outright assertions of discriminatory hatred, I suppose they have towards the LGBTQI plus movement. You forgot DN at the end, which is celebrated with Pride Month. Yeah, it goes into the whole, having a whole month for that, because people still have to fight for their rights, for their human rights, which is... Actually, I thought we were so incredibly... progressive here. I think same-sex couples still have like a huge problem in trying to adopt kids. I think adoption for same-sex couples is still virtually impossible in like most countries in the modern world, which was mind-blowing to me. I thought I thought like people who actually want kids should have like an easier time trying to have kids rather than people who just like unlock into them. But okay. This will be a long letter, but trust me, Friends Carter will be more happy to read through this letter word for word in upcoming maintenance. And the maintenance, bro, I didn't even get through the patch notes during the maintenance. Wait, he already did it during the maintenance? Okay, listen. We were name drop. Okay, now we have to commit. I didn't want to write such a letter even after weeks of constant harassment, but now it's been weeks. Ugh, that's annoying. Present the facts to you and ask you to make up your own mind. I mean, it's going to be one side of the story, right? We'll see how independently journalistic he's going to present the facts. Obviously, everyone has some kind of bias in anything that they do. It would be weird for him to include things that would make him look horrible, but we'll see. We'll be the judge of that. Okay. Doing the Pacific Friday, June 14th. Okay, so it's 3 days ago. I've been removed from the guild Saga. That's the Oracle Game Guild, I believe, right? Well, I personally don't believe that you are... so this is a direct comment. Well, I personally don't believe that you are homophobic, nor that you deliberately want to cause any drama. Some of your recent comments and actions have been perceived as such. Okay, that's a strong that's a strong statement. If that's a direct quote, that is in quotations, so we'll see about that. Despite leadership not personally believing that I am homophobic nor intentionally trying to cause drama, I have been preemptively rejected from friends' guilds. The game is run by the people, and they will paint you in the light that they wish. Sure. If you do not agree with the opinion of the mob. I wonder if that's well, it says the game, so maybe that's also direct quote. The opinion of the mob. That's a bit grandiose, if I would use that word. Formality and the 6-pager. What is that? I mean, apologies for formal PR language employed within. I will limit myself to the 6-page rule used for technical for the PR FAQ doc. Okay, yeah, he's going like super official with all of this stuff. Just know that if I ever have to write one of these things, this is all out the window, and I'm just gonna ramble in there. Okay, it's not gonna be built up properly like this. Prepare to read like a schizo post for me. Standard length normal adults are capable of reading in 30 minutes. As human resources is not my career of choice. Mine is though. I'm not trained to write press releases, but given that the topic of the human resource doesn't do that either, right? That's like PR. That's like a separate. At least over here, that's like pretty separate from human resources. Going to topic of the letter centers around interpreting my exact words. That this unmistakable language is required. That is too dense or boring. You are not alone. It brings me no joy to write like this, since I'm battered with office politics at my current work. Does he link his current work? Oh, like his NDAs and everything. I would have preferred to rest from writing documents in my relaxing video game time, but the community has forced my hand. I mean. Yeah, I guess if there's something that he wants to get off his chest, right? Educators in the story community have suggested I write a letter, likely intending on nitpicking every word and continuing painting me as a homophobe, since their previous attempts at falsely accusing me of being an anti-Semite did not finish the job. Oh yeah, I had that. I had that set to me as well. Oh, that's linked to my video. That was with the other racism drama stuff, yeah. It appears they have seized yet another opportunity. Yeah, these people are constantly looking for something, man. Instead, I've successfully launched a witch hunt to remove me from every guild in this game, effectively ending my ability to boss in this game. Wait, is it people from outside the guild, or is it people from inside the guild that saw communications? Because I think that matters. If I don't know, if it's people actually like chasing you around, that could be like borderline stalking, or if you think it is, that could be borderline like paranoia, where it's like, oh, everyone's out to get me kind of thing. But that would suck. Let's see where it gets us, I guess. Definition. Section will attempt to define key vocabulary critical to this document. Okay, what is this? Pride March, all of the gay shit. Gotcha. Homophobic, don't like the gay shit. Gotcha. Equity, the quality of being fair and impartial. Okay, I need to have that like written out. Equality versus equity, because I hear that discussion going on. Equity. Equality means each individual or group of people is given the same resources or opportunities. Equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach equal outcome. Oh yeah, equity is for outcome. Gotcha. Yeah, so I would say it's not really this, right? Equity is equality of outcome, and equality is equality of resources, of availability of stuff. Yeah. Witch hunt. Campaign directed against a person or group holding unorthodox or unpopular views. I don't know if I agree with all these definitions, honestly. I don't think a witch hunt is a campaign directed against a person or group. I think a witch hunt is when you float out an idea that anyone who believes that one thing is therefore like all bad. So it's kind of like a purity test thing where you like actively try to find like some trigger words, and as soon as you see them anywhere, then you try to expose that to everyone. But I don't think it necessarily has to be unorthodox or unpopular. It just has to be unpopular within a specific group. So it can be like within any group. Any group can like witch hunt anyone else. It doesn't have to be like popular opinion or anything like that. It's pronounced Triga. Oh, sorry. Rainbow, an arch of colors thrown in the sky. Okay, we know what rainbows are. But yeah, we've had our conversation in the chat as well about like me running around with my rainbow mohawk and like the connection with like being like an LGBTQIA whatever activist or not because of that. It's like it's just a rainbow, you know. It's not to quote the ancient philosopher Nietzsche. It's not that deep. Okay, sometimes a rainbow is just a rainbow. But I'm down with the gays. Hell yeah. Vernacular noun, the language or dialect spoken by the ordinary people. In the plebs, the plebeians, in a particular country or region. Vernacular, yeah, I think vernacular is essentially like a bad grammar, but it's like colloquial terms within a small group where everyone kind of knows what you mean, but everyone also knows that it's not like proper language, but that doesn't really matter, right? What happened? This started on June 2nd. Oh my god, it's been going on for 2 weeks. Okay, I was grinding and chatting in Saga Guild chat. A guild member casually suggested that Saga also switch its emblem from its popular purple and white theme. Purple and white theme. Oh, it's like a leaf, right? To a rainbow color theme. This was prompted by several other endgame guilds changing their guild emblems in celebration of Pride Month. So this immediately is like, goes into the whole conversation about like, what's going on, because this is in America and this is people all 10 years plus younger than me, so I have to go into like the mindset of like liberal social arts colleges and like corporate pandering LGBT like Pride Month, because I think a lot of companies like was it Target, other companies like this year kind of dialed down the overt support over the top for like making everything rainbow colored and whatever the fuck, right? Because of the amount of backlash on social media and everything that they were getting. Which, you know, if that's the pressure, it's probably not good. But if people want to be less on the nose about all this stuff, because who cares? They're just gay people, you know? Like, nobody cares about straight people in that way. They're just also just people, like, you know? But while they're still actively fighting a fight, you want to send a message, you want to support that. These are like two very separate things, but they get piled onto the same into the same conversation a lot. So I think that's probably what's going to happen here. Express my strong disdain for the aesthetics of a rainbow-colored guild emblem. Personally, guild logo, especially if it's only a month. I personally don't think I would give a fuck. Also indicated repeatedly that my preference is not out of homophobia, but rather the fact that it would not mesh well with my preferred purple and white character aesthetic. I feel like if you even say like it's not because of homophobia, then people are gonna think it's probably even more so. So like I'm not racist, but you know it's kind of one of those sentences. It almost feels like. This conversation was then shared by a peer, Doggasm, to a public channel with about 500 individuals, painting me as a homophobic bigot. Ooh, we're gonna keep our eye on Peter. Despite my clear and repeated messaging that I am not homophobic. I mean, yeah, but yeah, you can say you're not homophobic, but then that's what someone who's homophobic who doesn't want other people to think that would say, right? At that point, you're kind of like on the losing train. The damage has been done. The intentions have been clear from the beginning. Paint me as a homophobe, rendering me incapable of playing this game in any serious capacity. If you don't believe my story, see Appendix B for the entire conversation log. Judge for it yourself. Will we get there quickly, or... I guess we should read that just now. Appendix... Appendix. Blur all the screenshots and relevant conversations that were being shared widely in back alley channels. Since PeterDog has deliberately posted this in a Discord channel with about 500 people, I've added. Wait, so it was not in the Discord, like directly in the Saga Discord then, or it wasn't a Saga Discord, just the guild Discord, but not like a regular game Discord or something. I've added careful, objective interpretations of my original words as I had intended. Well, they cannot be objective, right? Subjective, right? Original screenshot as published by Peter. Okay. Gintoki says, when are we getting that rainbow leaf? Megumi said like sub 15 minutes. That's probably related to something else. If such as guild emblem, I'm leaving. Oh, yeah, this is like a typical Sam sentence. I know he never does himself any favor. But honestly, I kind of like the more like crass delivery, because you can also immediately weed out the people who just don't really care about what you mean. They just want to see bad things in everything that you do. And then they like self-expose. But the problem is when there's so many of them that they then overpower the normal way that you would look at communication, and then you end up losing, right? Cook it up. Dude, I can't. I don't know this communication style. The fuck? Stream it at art. Yeah, same. Rainbow leaf. Ooh. Okay, Bengomi's also not for it. Huey says ew. I better not see some foo-foo 4 stars. I'm gonna need to translate. Does anyone speak Zoomer in this chat? What does I better not see some foo-foo and then 4 star? What does that mean? Is this shit? Foo-foo shit? What does foo-foo mean? I better not. What is foo-foo? What is that? Dude, I need a fucking Urban Dictionary here. Urban Dictionary. Hang on. I'm so old. Stop. Urban Dictionary. It probably has like 16 different meanings. Foo-foo. Yes, I accept your cookies. Okay, foo-foo. Adjective used to describe anything that is just a little too frilly, fancy, or upper crust. Things that are foo-foo might also be a bit on the delicate side or too elegant, by half, or even offensively fruity. Okay, so it's basically trying to say gay, but not... This seems like this could be like a direct slur for gay people. Basically, right? Or like one of the acceptable like gay people slurs, like when you call people what are like the common words used in the African American fucking culture now? Oh god. Just anything to just like dance around the word. Zesty? Yeah, zesty is one. 100%. This is like zesty, right? But there's another one. Oh, it's like a very short word. Oh, like 5 or 6 letters. Corny. Right? 5 letters. Calling things corny. Sometimes that could be hard code for for other stuff like that. So, but this is, again, you know, if you look at things that used to get said in, I was never that person, but like in gamer lobbies and stuff, and the word choice then, this is probably slightly a step in the right direction, but a lot of it is just coded language for the same stuff. So, yeah, corny is lame, but that could be used very liberally, you know? They can basically, I've heard it used corny as like things that are like extremely horrible, but you would actually not, you don't actually think it's that bad, but you personally probably wouldn't do it, but you want to signal to other people that you would never do it, even though you don't think it's that big of a deal, and then you call them corny. But sometimes people will call like murder corny or something. It's like, what's going on here? Asmongold still says gay all the time. Well, some things are gay, especially if like, you know, penises go in assholes, but yeah. Okay, so that's already. I mean, I'm trying to get the general vibe for what is normal communication in this group, right? If people like use the term "fufu" and they're like talking about this rainbow leaf, and a bunch of other people are saying "ew," it seems like it's not like a done deal that everyone is on the same page with this shit, right? A lot of people are, communicating in a way that I would probably not like in my guild, but this seems like it's pretty normal. I don't think any of these other people are getting called out on anything, so there doesn't seem to be any one person in this chat that's like sticking out so far as like a sore thumb, where it's like this person is like problematic, where everyone else is like, oh no, sub 15 BM. Oh yeah, that's what they were talking about. No rainbow leaf, kinda homophobic. Okay, now we have to start reading punctuation into everything. So I don't think this is a serious message. I think what they mean, what Cook means here is like, if we don't do a leaf, that means we're homophobic. But that seems in jest in how other people could read it if they were like more extreme in it, and they were like, well guys, come on, if we don't do it, then we're homophobic, so we have to do it, right? I don't know if that's a serious message or not. Could take it either way. Either way, I don't really care. Artisan solo in 9 minutes. Buff Night Lord. Okay, this is a very typical game lobby. Fuck off with that. LeMayo, it looks perfect as is. You just put a LeMayo in here to try to like, I think to try to really reduce the temperature a little bit, because he notices that other people are like tapping into it, and it doesn't want it to look extreme, or doesn't want it to go in that conversation to steer in that direction, it looks like. He says cancel. Okay, so Cook is definitely just trolling a little bit by the looks at Buff Nightwork, W ad. Are we rolling ads? Not right now. Change the name to Gaga for all I care. The emblem be good. Okay, he's like be good instead of like is good. So he's like trying to, trying to like roll out of the comment and how it could have been perceived. Instead of Gaga, I would have said Sagay. I think you're changing less of the name there, but yeah, sure. I mean, and then I think if you're a reasonable person, you're reading this, is like someone is just like, I don't think we should change the guild logo. I think it looks fine. And like even like we could change the guild name if you want, but I like kind of like the logo that it is. And again, he's not the only person. There's like at least 3 other people here who are all like, yeah, I don't think we should change the logo. And the one person who seems to be in favor of changing the logo is saying, oh yeah, because we're homophobic if we don't do it. Oh my god, you gotta get canceled. Like the person also doesn't seem very serious about it. So I think at this point nothing has happened. Absolutely nothing weird has happened. Oh yeah, okay, he's gonna break it down here. If touch the skill, I'm leaving. I'm being hyperbolic, tongue-in-cheek. Of course, I say of course because I've known Sam for longer, but I don't think he's actually like, oh, if you touch the guild, I'm actually leaving the guild because like I would give up my spot in like an endgame guild because the colors under my name are slightly different. Yeah, he's definitely not that person. Reference to aesthetic quality on existing guild emblems, specifically it's purple-white thematic for a Nightwalker. Fuck off with that. It looks perfect as it is. As is, using New York vernacular to convey. I mean, New York is also pretty aggressive language towards other people, not necessarily trying to be offensive, from what I understand. A lot of f-bombs. But like, if you don't, then you're people walk over you. So you gotta kind of be tough exterior, from what I know. CodeNox command. What is this? Oh, this is a beautiful text message of him. Why are you covering? You just refuse to go up, LeMayo. Yeah, see, that's the that's the vibe. So we discriminate. Change the name for Gay All I Care as a flippant remark to indicate that my disgust with a rainbow-colored emblem is not due to homophobia. Oh, he does use the term disgust here. I would just say like dismay, or like just not lack of preference. But I guess disgust that's a stronger word that does push me a little bit more in the other direction. It's not due to homophobia. I propose to change build. Oh yeah, I talked about this before on stream yesterday as well. This goes into like colors and things looking good in certain colors. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit like weird for me. It's probably very weird for me to feel this way, but I feel very strongly that like having a favorite color is something that's super childish. Like back in the day, what we used to have is these little books, and then you had like pre-written questions in it, and you would get like your friends or people in your class to fill in, and then you could like put in a picture or you could draw something, and you put in your name, and then you put in your birthday, and then you put in your favorite color and your favorite animal, and then something about you and what you liked about the other person, and you'd have like this album. This book in the Netherlands is also very common. I don't know if it's common where you guys are from, but then basically you would like kind of like collect friends like it's a fucking Pokédex, right? And I think at that age, when you're like, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that, it's pretty normal to have like you have a favorite animal and a favorite color and all that stuff. But I think as you get older, you know, some things look good in certain colors, other things look shit in a certain color, right? It's like pretending like there's just like one color that's like superior to others. It's just like a kind of like a weird thing that I guess we don't really reassess that past, you know, getting out of elementary school, which I think that's kind of just an interesting thing. But yeah, like some things look really cool in the rainbow motif. Like I think this mohawk looks really, really good. I like it. That's why I have it on all my characters. But some things in rainbow motif probably look horrible. Again, that has nothing to do with like the value or the support for like gay people or like LGBTQIA, DN plus whatever. Like that's completely separate from that, right? I propose to change the guild name to an unmistakably appropriate name. The emblem be good. I like the existing guild emblem, and then I think be good in the way. I think it's good writing it like that because it's like we're just chilling, you know, we're just like using very informal language. We're not trying to officially set anything in stone here about what we're actually. This is not an official meeting about what's happening with the emblem. This is just like stuff in passing, right? Peter Dawkinson posted a screenshot of this conversation in #MapleFails channel in the Saga Discord. Oh, so it is within Saga, okay, which is accessible by both guild members and non-members, totaling at least 500 people. So there are I don't know how this Discord works. There are non-Saga members in the Saga Discord, so that's probably there's like guests when people do like boss parties or something. But this is like specifically different from because I assume that like the Aeroclo game like channel has its own like Twitch community Discord, right? So that's like separate from that. So it just posts and then oh no wait, that's 2 hours before. Okay, so I don't know what the is from. That might be connected to something completely differently. Then he just posts it, no context, no comment. Friend Peter, very much a friend. Looking to instigate some stuff, I guess. At Nox, question mark. Yeah, I like the emblem. I'm a Nightwalker. Purple is in my blood. I don't want to lose the Hill purple. Man, I almost feel like engaging with this is probably like a mistake. I think you just want to let this fly by. It's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, I was talking about, I just like the current emblem, but I don't really care either way or something. I know for playing Nightwalker class, which is predominantly purple themed, my identity. I mean, I like purple too, but not for everything. Because I started with a DA and like the blue purple like vibes. I had oh man, I could probably find it, but I had like an overlay for my stream with like purple and blue and like wings and shit for a while. A long time ago though. It's got my identity and story over the years. It's the existing guild. Emblem will let me maintain the highest fashion endgame. That is a true endgame, remember, right? It's fashion. The color of your emblem is definitely part of that. It doesn't apply joke since Henehos stereotypically prioritize fashion and over actual game progression. No, not Henehos. True endgamers. Sam, who are you talking about? Yet I'm solely focused on equipment progression. Continuation of the conversation. I refuse to have a fuggily rainbow-colored abomination under my name. Take one look at the savages and excel emblems and tell me it looks good. I don't know. I don't see a lot of other people. I don't train in high-level areas, so I don't see these people. Oh, and then we have a bunch of people just doing the Pepe with the cup, adding absolutely nothing to the conversation, just indicating, you know, like the eating popcorn and like, oh, let's let some other people fight the fight for us. They don't actually care. They're just waiting for someone to care so they can they can look at it or something. I don't know what this. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a GIF emote or if this is a still one. I think it's a still one. But it's like the just waiting for shit to go down or something emote, I think, right? Is intentionally strongly worded condemnation of the proposed guild emblem. Also, there was already one proposed, or was just the thought proposed? I don't know if there was an actual picture available, or if people were just floating the idea. I meant to highlight how much I detest the aesthetic of the emblem, and how much I valued my character's overall color palette. This is not meant as a comment on Pride Movement, of course not, as some have intentionally framed it. It ain't that deep. God, I hate how people communicate with like these fucking TikTok overlays. It's like, does this mean like, oh, Sam, it's not that deep, or is this a reply to all of these people spending this emoji? Like, guys, stop trying to make something that's not there. It ain't that deep. There's nothing really going on here. I don't know what this is directly in relation to. This could be really just like anything. Let's go. Let him cook. I think let him cook usually means that you agree with what's going on, and you want to let someone finish, right? Or is this, oh, let him hang himself, like give him more rope to hang himself with? This is why I don't like this. O-W-L, let him cook. It ain't that deep. Like, you're not actually, you're communicating so fucking poorly. Like, I don't know which of the 16 things that could be directly contradictory to each other this is actually means. Let him cook is an agree. But if I see someone saying something stupid and they're about to like hang themselves with their statements, I could see someone saying let him cook, because he's like, this guy's gonna completely ruin his like entire livelihood. Let him cook, bro. Like, let him expose himself, you know? It could be that as well, and then it's basically the opposite. So it could mean that they completely disagree with him, but they want to let someone expose themselves for the, you know, the horrible person they are. But the problem is, if you communicate like this afterwards, you could just say either one and not really have to defend either side of that conversation, because you could just jump to the other one and be like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that afterwards, right? That's why I don't like this level of communication. Whoop came just in time for trouble. What's up, Testuda? It ain't deep, it just looks bad. Exactly, yeah. It's not that deep, he just doesn't like how it looks. That's like the beginning and the end of the entire conversation. Our current emblem is kind of nice though. See, and again, just like in this previous conversation, like here, you have other people who are basically on the same page. Like, they maybe not word it in the same way, but they feel the same way. Like, yeah, they kind of like their current emblem. Like, there's no real need to change it. Not gonna lie, I like our current emblem, but the old blue one went hard too. So yeah, now the conversation is moving away from this. It's moving away from like, oh yeah, we kind of like our emblem, but then people are still constantly like posting this shit, trying to make it into a big deal, right? Trying to like not let it go. Secretary Joe's comment, I believe the comment on the applied objection had ulterior motives, which I attempted to deny once again. I say with purely aesthetic motivations. Again, yeah, like it's because of this emoji, which is just like staring, I guess. And what is this, like a blinged out bruh emote? Bro, like there are more actual frogs on this screen than original thoughts. It's so hard to try to glean. Yeah, you get like the staring. You're looking at a conversation online, but it's a bunch of staring frogs and a bunch of like them waiting for their coffee to get cold so they can actually sip it. Or is this tea? Oh, is it like tea because like tea is supposed to be like dirt on people or something? I don't know, fucking know. Peter Doggasm continues to bring pride into the conversation. Oh, here are the logos. Despite my clarifications, he finishes with 3 personal insults: insecure, insensitive, and privileged. SIC. Sick. These are all the logos. Drowsy has a flag in the background. Oh, I'm gonna be real. I don't think I saw any of these in game except for maybe the Imperium one. That's this month, right? This is how much I'm just in noob areas all day. Oh, yeah, we have a rainbow flag, by the way. I just realized that. Our mule guild has a rainbow flag the whole time, because that's like the logo of the guild. But we're mules, so it's a mule with the rainbow hair, you know? It's great. I think Richard made that himself, right? Look, we were gauged before it was cool, okay? Look at our rainbow emblem. Everyone else is just copying us, dude. I've always had it to avoid getting canceled. Yeah, that's seeing next refuse to have effectively, yeah. Seeing inclusivity in Maple, especially from a rank 1 guild. Wait, rank 1 guild? Wait, did I miss something? Were they rank 1? Good job if they were. Is pretty wait, a rank 1 guild. Do they mean the rank 1 guild? There can be multiple rank 1 guilds, right? It's a pretty meaningful step in fostering an inclusive and welcoming environment for all players. But I think, as we're about to see, in creating an inclusive and welcoming environment for all players, he's creating a exclusive and a non-welcoming environment for people who might not agree 100% with everything that he's saying. Which, you know, there's some irony in that. Next one, especially the Korean OG company is not known for their inclusivity. Okay, I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. Characters in MapleStory have no business having a gender or a sex at all. Okay? We have hairstyles, we have looks that look like everything, we have outfits that you can wear that... The fact that there's actually restrictions, because that resonates into like certain characters being able to get married in game, which is 99% of the time just used to be able to do APQ. You know, it's just for functionality. Or like 0 characters not being able to get married because they have both of the characters. Why the fuck do characters in this game even have gender or sex? It doesn't even make any sense. Just create your character and then create what you want your character to look like. Like in terms of like other games, there can be very distinct shapes and stuff that you can give your game, you know, your character. If you're doing like a Dark Souls, like 3D, whatever the fuck, or like a Witcher game, right? This is like, we are like 80% bobblehead and like 20% just, you know, there's like different color PJs on there, right? That's like the only thing. There's blue and then there's like the pink. Just give us all like purple. Boom, done, you know? But I think that's so coded so hard into the game that they can't really switch that. But I don't know how much of that is unwilling or just not unable because of code. Having the game community do it themselves speaks volumes. Personally, again, but this is because I'm not directly impacted by it as much. I don't think it matters fuck all, but it can't, to the right person at the right time, it could, probably, yeah. Your comment comes off as insecure, insensitive, and privileged. It is probably privileged. Like, what I'm saying now is also probably privileged, because as much as you want to say, like, oh yeah, I can understand how that could... No, you can't really. Unless you're in that situation, you can't really understand what it would be like to have, like, your life choices constantly, you know, be frowned upon, be dismissed, being said that it's like a bad choice that you're making, you know, like varying ranges of like bigotry, right? And then not having to deal with that is a sense of privilege that but you don't even know that you have it, right? Because like individuals don't have that privilege really, like groups have privilege. So you don't really, as an individual, you don't really feel the privilege that your group as a whole kind of has, you know, like being straight white male or whatever the fuck is. You have some privileges or you don't have certain downsides, but you don't really feel those because everyone has shit that they have to deal with, and you always focus on whatever your shit is that you have to deal with. You're not like actively going through life like, oh my god, I'm so happy that, you know, I can just walk home in the middle of the night and I don't have to worry about getting jumped or something, you know? Like that's not how you actively live your life. And nobody really does, I don't think. But yeah, insecure, I don't think that has anything to do with it. This is just like I think this is like a summation in threes. It looks better if you have 3 things to put in a summation. This comes off as this, this, and this. Like, that just... I like doing that too. Like, when I'm writing, it just looks way better. This being a Discord with like 500 people, I don't know how quickly the screenshot was taken. Oh, it was at least 40 minutes later. But it looks like there were only 3 comments to it. And this could have all been the same person who gave it 3 emotes. So I'm not sure if this is like a widely receptive message, like a really big topic that people are jumping on and they care a lot about. Oh yeah, I was looking at the logos. Yeah, to be fair, some of these logos look okay. Most of them are ugly as shit. But again, it's for a month. It's for, you know, supporting the cause and whatever, I wouldn't care. But that's because I don't really care about that color palette stuff. Like, yeah, somebody could change my guild logo and it would take me like 2 weeks to figure it out, because that's not something I'm focused on personally. So if other people want to change it, fucking go for it. But I would also be okay with other people not necessarily caring that little about it. But like we said in the beginning, I don't think Sam would have made any kind of fuss about it not happening. Plus, there were a bunch of other people who were in the same boat where they're like, I kind of like our current logo. I don't know if we should change it. But this is why in the guild castle, you have to unlock the that special room where you can do like votes and stuff, and then you can just say like, hey, we'll put it up to a vote. Everyone who wants to show up that day will have 5 questions. Boom, you can put in the question. There's like a courtroom, and then everyone can have a vote, and then you could just say we're going with majority vote. Boom, and then we'll just do what it says. Or if you don't, you just do what's the thing that the presidents always do? Executive decision. You just do like, oh, we're gonna do this, and if you don't like it, fuck off, and if you do like it, great. You know. And Sam replied, you're free to make personal judgments about my character as you wish, but no amount of name-calling is going to change my aesthetic opinion. I'm free to have my tastes to what looks good or not, and you know I'm sick of people bringing politics into MIB story. I don't like that sentence. Politics is in everything, automatically. You can't get that out of anything. See, Saga, half a year ago, you know how much I hate having my little mushroom game be polluted by any political talk. Well, that was about the racism stuff, right? No reasons because I agree or disagree with you. Any policy MIB story is bad, period. Yeah, I'm not with him on that. I think there's a time and place for things. A Discord is probably more a place for it than like Smaga's in-game or like in-game guild or alliance chat, I would say. But again, like it's on hashtag MapleFails. I don't know, there's probably like an off-topic or something room in Discord. I don't know in which Discord room this was being posted, right? There's probably places where this conversation should probably be had, because this is a pretty fundamental disagreement that I think should get expressed and should be addressed. But I don't know if it's the right place or right time to do it. Don't try and come into video game spaces with Bibles in school, rainbow flags, AAPI, Heritage Month, AAPI. I don't know what that is. You guys are so woke over there. Whatever war happens to be going on in the world, I want to play Mushroom Game to get away from it all. There's enough 24/7 news coverage of everything nowadays. Yeah, I'm not fully on board with that like line. I get that, but you can't take like can't take the people out of the world, right? Like you can like go into your video games to like hide stuff, but that's why my chat has also always been open for that kind of people who want to have like conversations about like fucking Israel, Palestine, or something like that. I think there's a time and a place for that. If it goes too heated between two people, I usually say take it into DMs or something. But I feel like these conversations should be had somewhere. And for some people, your whole life is playing video games online. And if you are hiding from them there as well, you're not facing like reality anywhere. But it's also perfectly valid for someone to be like, I don't want to deal with that here, so I'm going to like sidestep that. But I feel like he's like both stepping in it and saying that he's not going to step in it. So it's like a little double. But identify as woke, I'm like whatever the level above woke is, you know? I think when you go so woke that you become like, you become super based, basically. I'm based, that's what I am. API is Asian American Pacific Islander. Oh god, okay, that's a big ass. So Asian American Pacific Islander, so that's basically like people from Hawaii and stuff, right? And like Samoa, that kind of American Samoa, that kind of stuff. I'm intentionally setting controversial topics from across the political spectrum in the United States and highlight my disdain for all politics, irrespective of my personal opinion. Yeah, of course, that's obvious. I've seen Saga reference to a character assassination attempt. Earlier this year, I tried to claim I was anti. I forgot that he was like central in that. I thought there was another dude. What was his name? All right. What was the? Oh yeah, Sam wrote this too. Wasn't there like another? See, I already forget all of. Oh, Chan, yeah, this guy with the Free Palestine shit. Like, I thought that was mostly about him, but I guess he did the write-up because he wanted to Bring attention to it. Enlighten. Next. Yes, that's exactly what it is. There was anti-Semite. That attempt was founded solely on another guild member founder vehemently posting graphic imagery. Yeah, that was the Chan guy, right? The only connection I had to that incident was that I was in the same guild. Yeah, I guess he does kind of. He does have some stronger anti-fans than me. Remember, I've started to strongly distinguish between anti and anti. Okay, anti means before, and anti means against. Keep those separate. Continuation of the above screenshots. Joe continues to imply. Who the fuck is Joe? I have ulterior motives, whereas I believe I'm defending myself against blatantly false. Oh, the guild. Okay. Allegations of discrimination. Joe. Yeah, this guy. I know this isn't just because I agree with. Oh, here. Bro, it's a guild emblem. It is not as serious as you are making it for real. Well, he put for real at the end, so you know it's, you know he's serious. But why is he replying to him? Again, like, who is he replying to? Is he replying to Sam? That it's just a guild emblem and it's not that serious? Or is he replying to Dogasm? Like, it's just a guild emblem, it's not that serious, right? It's very important who he's replying to here. Like, it looks like he's replying to Sam, in which case, why? He's not the guy making it a big deal out of it. He's just replying to this guy who's making a big deal out of it. He's defending himself against this guy's allegations. Why you're like siding with the wrong person here, in my opinion. To clarify my position in this brewing drama, oh boy, this is where it starts. Where are the tea emojis now? Tell that to the guy who keeps pinging me about it. Yeah, there you go. You could have just ignored it. That's probably what I would have done too. But this is the part where I think a guild member or like a Discord admin should probably step in and be like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" And then draw the direct parties like into DM and try to figure out like what the fuck is going on, you know? Not have this in public in a room with like everyone there. I don't think that's how I would handle it. But again, everyone handles their shit a different way. Do you think it's a problem at all if it makes someone else happy that is in the guild? I don't know why it's a problem or has any negative effect on you. Sure, that's fair. Because I don't like how it looks. Didn't I make that clear? I'm not saying keep it just for me. Have a vote. Yeah, okay, this is fair. That's what I was saying. You just have a vote on it, or do it executively. Say like, well, we're going to change it, and then Sam is probably going to be like, oh, okay, well, it's not my preference, but fine. Or have a vote on it, and then just go with whatever the vote is, because it seems like there's a lot of other people here in this list of what we're going for that also don't necessarily want to change it, and I assume that most of those people are also not anti-gay. They just don't think it's that big of a deal or that it means that much. So people like Dongasm or something, Dargasm, probably should be working more proactively, more constructively towards like what is the value of doing this, right? Like they kind of talked about, you know, like the struggles and how it's good to foster an inclusive community and everything, and using that to make the positive case for why they should do it, to try to convince some people or bring some people over who are in the whatever pile to be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Okay, I'll support it, you know? Rather than trying to actively... And then this is where it kind of becomes the witch hunt, right? Like pinpoint one person where it's like, look at this bigot, because he doesn't want to change it. And it's like, it's such a... It's like, it's using that energy, but it's using that energy for such negativity instead of just using that energy positively. Because if anything, if your goal is to make it more inclusive and to bring people over to your side, this is the perfect way to bring people against your side, because what they're going to see that side as is people who are like aggressively trying to like destroy people rather than you know, trying to change their mind and trying to inform them. And you don't have to. You can take that approach, but you're going to actively you're like ways of doing that is what actively drives people into extremes against each other, instead of having constructive conversation in the middle about just like preferences and why you feel a certain way about things. This is like, that's why the polarization comes from. It's like more, it's like stuff like this. This doesn't help the conversation. But it's also good to see that there are just like 3 emotes here, which could be from the same person, and it's not like 50 upvotes or something. So this also doesn't seem like a prevailing thought that everyone agrees with. At this point, there seem to be way more person on Sam's side where they're like, I kind of like the current logo. I don't know if he should change it. I'm not really a big fan of like a rainbow leaf. And there's one guy saying, "Oh, Sam, for even bringing that up, that's a bad thing." Even though in the same sentence where Sam brought it up in the original picture, there were like 3 other people who agreed with him. So yeah, because of his language. And again, it's not accidental that this happens to Sam again, because the way that he communicates is definitely... There's probably a big... I'm guessing there's a very, like, New York versus LA. I don't know how you guys are in the US, but I think, like, you put, like, 5 New Yorkers and 5 LA people, like, in the same room, and they might agree on, like, 99% of things, but the LA people will feel like the New Yorkers are, like, extreme right people, and the New Yorkers will feel like the people on the left are, like communists. I think that'll like hippies and stuff. I feel like that's very much that left versus right divide exists very much so. But if you ask like a European, they'll just see a group of Americans, and yeah, always the beholder will be it's interesting looking from a distance. But of course, it's a very real situation. It's happening to a very real person. You can vote. Yeah, that's fine, but it will go back to the original emblem after the month. Oh, okay. So he says, yeah, that's fine. But so not about have a vote, because it seems like they're going to executively do it and then just change it back after a month, which I think is totally fine as well. It's your right to do as a guild leader. It's probably something, I don't know, if you're a really big guild, it's probably something to have as a clause in your guild application as well, though, that there's like, hey, we don't want to, you can talk about whatever in the guild chat, but we don't want to do like over the top like political discussions or something. If you want to have that, do that in this room or not in this community. And we are going to follow, we're going to do like, we're going to change logos or change, I don't know, guild Discord emotes based on the season or something. So like maybe for Black History Month, but maybe for Gay Pride Month, for Pride Month, maybe for, I don't know, for like the holidays, maybe for Halloween, we're going to do some of these things. That probably should be mentioned somewhere so that people just know that that's a thing. That way, whenever someone does bring it up, now it'll have more weight, because either it means they didn't read the guild application properly, or they are making a big deal about it at that point. But if you don't have that pre-written, then just mentioning it doesn't necessarily mean you're making a big deal out of it. You're just mentioning something, right? So then it's not as much. I'm just saying that if it makes someone else happy in the guild, regardless if you like it or not, it shouldn't matter. That's just my 2 cents. Okay, but I think he's not even talking in the role of a guild leader or as a admin here, but just like as another chatter, which I think is okay. I need to remind us all of these rules. Follow Maple, terms of service to US, no political topics. Oh, no racism or slurs, no homophobia, transphobia, slurs, be kind to each other. Okay, so Sam is pointing out, again, I wouldn't put this, a lot of this discussion, I think, probably shouldn't happen in this room, but should probably be like a one-on-one DM with like an admin of the server, probably. But yeah, if you have like no political topics as a rule, again, political is just so fucking, it's an ambiguous term. Everything is political and nothing is, It's pointing out that yeah, I mean, is it political? Is it not? Yeah. I think the pointing out, like, it comes off as insecure and sense of privilege. It's still pretty, like, it comes off as, so it's pretty washy. It's not like you are very clearly being bigoted or something. It's still, I guess it crosses the line in being kind, but I think it's in a relatively, trying to be in a nice way, saying, like, this could come across, like, very poorly. But I think so far nothing has really happened yet. Someone has made a case. Someone has rebutted it. Joe has, from this, it looks like, saying, like, I understand both sides, but it's just going to be a logo change, and because the current emblem is fired, like, yeah, and and the language as well is like, this is still like kind of playful. Like, no one's getting like too, but Sam gets like very, what to a lot of people would be like, Sam gets pretty official with all of that stuff. Like, he's making it like he's trying to build his manifesto already, and then some people that would probably they would read that differently, and they would not like that look on it as much. Referring to Ming and indirectly to Peter Dogasm. Ming has just added him with like a question mark or something, right? I don't know how much they did other than that. I'm not saying keep it for me, just have a vote. I'm conceding that despite my personal disdain for the proposed emblem, if there are enough people who want the new emblem, I will stand down. Is yet another attempt to signal that I believe in the democratic process and basic civility. I need to remind you of those rules. These are the Saga's Guild's own rules. I highlight the 2 rules in question because of that Peter Dogasm has now violated both rules. Note that I did not violate the no homophobia slurs, because nor did I ever remotely intend to. Well, that very specifically says slurs, not just no homophobia or transphobia. Apparently, you can have a bunch of homophobia and transphobia as long as you don't say the specified slur words, which I don't think that they should probably take that slurs out of this rule, I think, because you just have no homophobia or transphobia, period. Because whether you say, and no racisms. Yeah, no racism or slurs, and then you have no homophobia, transphobia slurs. But slurs are already included in this one, so slurs is not necessary here. But because now you have no open rule against homophobia or transphobia. Just, yeah, this should probably be rewritten if it's still written like this. Maybe they did in the meantime, because this was from a while ago, right? This is from June 6th, so that's from 12 days ago. Continuation of the conversation. Oh, it just keeps going. English videos to demand an apology or anything like that, but I hope you won't treat another guildie like this, Peter. Good luck on pitchies. So he's even wishing him good luck, yeah. Tell someone they're bullying you because they want to be acknowledged for their sexual orientation. Oh wait, now Cook is here. Okay, so Cook was trolling before. I don't know if he's trolling again. Telling someone they're bullying you because they want to be acknowledged for their sexual orientation is an interesting take. Yeah, this is okay. So they could be totally serious here, or they could just want to be like throwing more oil into the fire. You're not asking to be acknowledged, right? You're asking to be like specifically put on a pedestal. That's different than just being acknowledged for it. You're trying to call active attention away from something and to it. You're not trying to just, because everything you could just acknowledge everything. Be like, oh, I'm gay. Yeah, okay, good for you. You know, acknowledged. Okay, moving on. Nobody cares. You like dick. Good for you. Yeah. Wow. Amazing. But again, not everyone is of that mind, of course. An interesting take. Again, so not actually an argument, just like not an actual poignant critique. It's just throwing oil on the fire and just, again, like a half statement that people can then read into, see wrong. You can always retreat and be like, oh, that's not actually what I meant. Then fucking say what you mean. Make full sentences. Oh, that's an interesting take. Okay, you're adding nothing to the conversation, dude. Like, completely useless. Guys, it's 2024. Imagine being homophobic or any of that shit. If anyone actually shows any behavior like that, they will just be kicked. Exactly. Emblem or no emblem doesn't change anything towards that policy. Sure. Wow, someone who actually, like, communicates. Okay, they're typing in, like, interesting way, but, like, this is, yeah, sure. This is actually, like, a statement that you could do something with, whatever that is. Not useful. And then Ham, again, with just the fucking emoji, just has nothing going on, just trying to see if they can stir up some more drama, I guess. I can acknowledge that without being forced to like the rainbow. My guy, your comment comes off as insecure, insensitive, and privilege isn't bullying. Arguably that is. It's exactly why I don't like politics. You're just gonna stuff some words into my mouth anyway, so I bother. Oh, and sharing that screenshot to multiple guilds and discourse to start a witch hunt against me isn't gonna change my mind. It's just gonna make me hate politics even more. As I mentioned before, if you insist, I voted progressive my entire adult life, so before you tell me that to tell me what I believe or not, check yourself. I'm not even homophobic, but y'all not doing yourself any favors harassing anyone just for not wanting to change a video game emblem, for fuck's sake. Yeah, he gets very defensive, but he is, again, I don't see all of the communication here. This is like an excerpt, but it seems like there's quite a lot of messages at this point that are going against it. While again, like in the beginning, it seemed like it was a pretty, you know, the way he worded it was probably not ideal, but there were like other people who immediately like agreed with it. It didn't seem like there was any weird uproar It seems like the whole point is just the point doesn't seem like, let's look at this message and see why this message could be interpreted wrong and how we can say that better in the future. It's more like, hey, look at what this person said. Fucking get him. It's like, it's just so unproductive. It's just such a negative fucking energy. Like, yeah, like, look at this guy. Think the worst of it and cancel this guy. It's like, really? That's what we're gonna do? That's the world you want to live in until you say the next thing slightly wrong, and then now you're gonna get hardcore canceled. Like, is this really like a productive, inclusive, welcoming society that you're creating that way? You're doing the exact opposite of what you're trying to do. You know? Why is there no pedophile month? It's so limiting. You can go into that whole thing, but like they don't choose to be that, right? Like the amount of like people who just like gas them all for something that was like in their brain. It's like fucking wild. I'm gonna be okay, so this is his explanation again. I'm not trying to argue or have a victory. I felt upset with this attitude. It was weekly reset. I wished him luck as an olive branch and education. Yeah, that was okay. I got that way as well. Sending a screenshot to multiple guilds in Discord started, which at this point, a few hours have passed, and Akuk continues to fan the fire and insinuate that I'm being both homophobic and paying the... Yeah. I don't know if this Cook guy is just trolling. From those first messages, it seems like he's someone who actually doesn't really give a fuck. He just, yeah, he just likes to fan the flames and just throw oil on the fire. That's more the vibe I get from their communication. But again, this is there's only very limited what I'm seeing. This time, parts of the conversation were already leaking into other discourse, and I'm starting to receive hate messages. Yeah, that's what I was saying, right? We're only seeing like one part. There could be other stuff going on because it seems like he is overreacting, and he's kind of like being super defensive and almost like being aggressive towards people back. But that's because this is not like the only conversation that's going on. These people are like fighting on different fronts, and he's like fighting on one front. So it seems like he's like putting too many troops into this one battle, but that's because he's being surrounded, you know. Your dick is rainbow color? Probably should see a doctor about that, bro. Stop the CBT. It's not working. I voted progressive. I don't know why he's bringing this into it, because he wanted it to not be about politics, but now he's talking about like voting progressively, so he's now actively bringing it back into the realm of politics. I don't know if that's conducive to the conversation. 10% of actions speak louder and more clearly than words, which they should, yeah. As a firm Bernie Sanders supporter in 2016. Yikes! Communism! I voted, and that was the extent of my politics. Making it illegal for private healthcare. Yikes, Bernie Sanders. I indicated these accusations are based on my accusers do not know me as well as they like to pretend. And this is what I was talking about way in the beginning. Some people see like one or two trigger words, and then they assume a whole bunch of things that person probably believes. Sam is like, in most things, you cannot really think any of those things about. So you can think those things about Sam, but you'll probably mostly be wrong. I was like wrong on those things. Because, you know, you all make assumptions based on the things that you see. Like, I wouldn't act on them, but I very quickly noticed with Sam that he is not like a predictable this way, so all of these things also follow. You'll be wrong about more things than you'll be right if you try that. The guild leader attempts to broker peace. I'm unable to control my temper at this point and accuse Peter Dogasm of deliberately inciting this conversation, and Maple fails, knowing that it was a public channel with visibility far outside the guild. Next, I don't think you're homophobic. Ha! Wrong form of your. Got him. Or anything, but you made your point clear. Let's stop this discussion. We'll talk about what we do with it, if we change the emblem or not. Regardless, what I said should matter the most, and there is a zero tolerance on shit like homophobia, discrimination, etc. Well, there isn't, right? Because your rules aren't written properly. It says no homophobia slurs. It doesn't say no homophobia, so I hope that's rewritten by now. I'm sick of people trying to pull me into drama. It's annoying. Is there a policy against starting witch hunts? If not, consider locking down. I think there is one for us, yeah. Locking down these channels to guild only. It's one thing if some drama dude saw the screenshot and is reposting it, but it's one of our members. I don't have control of what is being done outside of the Discord, but keep in mind whatever you post in whatever channel, in whatever Discord, can always be spread around. That is true. You know, anything you put in a Discord can be spread around. But that doesn't mean that the person who does that maliciously is therefore completely void of responsibility or guilt. Like I could post something and then someone could try to take that out of context and post it directly to people who already hate me and then stir up more hate for me. That doesn't mean that that's like my own fault now. It's still like maliciously done by that other person. So this is kind of like passing the hot potatoing the problem here. It's a screenshot of the guild chat. I didn't post that shit. Yeah, exactly. Also, this was said within the guild chat. This was not said in the Discord where the other people are privy to that information, right? This is coming from a different medium. So I don't think... So far, the Broken Gilly, never, whatever, has been pretty on the ball, I think. But I think this is a bit of a mess. You have to be aware, of course, of how things can be perceived and everything. But that doesn't mean that how people perceive it is therefore fine. And you're therefore have to like surrender to all of the repercussions of that. That's not necessarily... I think that's like a leap in logic that I feel like is being made here. I'm sick of people trying to drama. It's fucking annoying. It's my attempt to indicate that I had not intended to make any comment on Pride or indeed any political comment at all. It seems like he's very anti that being dragged in, so I'm assuming here that he wouldn't want that to be part of the conversation. It's all just about a guild emblem's aesthetics. That's, to me, again, that seems pretty obvious, but apparently not to everyone. Nothing more, nothing less. It's not that deep, right? Is there a policy against starting witch hunts? Despite my anger, someone to systematically prevent the issue from being too overblown. I believe that members of a guild should trust one another implicitly, not attempts to backstab each other over minor difference. Yeah, again, this is totally fine. I think this is a good thing as well for the Discord, for the guild, for Saga to also reconvene, you know, with like I want to say management, with like the moderators and stuff, and see like, okay, is this like something that slips through the cracks of our current TOS? Do we need to address the TOS? Do we need to tighten it up a little bit? Do we need to put something like a strike rule? Do we need to, right? You don't want to put up too many rules for a Discord, because then it seems like you're just entering like a police state. But it's it's like every single sign that's written somewhere has a story that precedes it on something that happened that required the sign to be written, right? Like every single rule is not only there to prevent things, but can also be there to prevent recurrence of things, right? And I think there is definitely a situation here that's not desirable for the Discord. So it's a good idea to like sit with the people who like make and enforce the rules and really hammer out like what kind of stuff are we okay with and what kind of stuff are we not okay with. Because it can be that they all agree that what Sam did was like universally bad and they don't want that again, and what the Peter guy did was totally fine and they were okay with keeping that. That could be a rule for a Discord. As long as everyone's on the same page, that's fine, right? I personally wouldn't want to be in a Discord like that or in a guild like that handles things that way. I don't think that's right. But if their management does, and the people within that Discord have a say, or however they do things, right, want to do it that way, it's their right? It's their fucking Discord. This is all... Okay, but that's the end of all of the appendixes. What was this other one? This one wasn't mentioned before. Also, in the appendix are anonymous to protect their individual identity and prevent backlash and harassment. This is done because I believe these individuals do not mean any ill will, despite my appointment in their ability to stand up for equity. Notice from Saga Guild leadership informing me of their decision to remove me from... Oh, wait... But that's coming later. Wait, why is... Oh, that's what that's coming from. Okay, so let's read that, I guess. Remove me from the guild due to pressure from the community. So, is it the community? Is that the guild? Is it the alliance? Is it the Saga Discord? Is it their Twitch Discord? Is it their Twitch chat? Is it the MapleStore community as a whole? Where are these pressures coming from, right? And what power are you addressing to each of these separate groups? What is behavior if not a police state? Anonymity has been preserved for the individual team member to prevent possible harassment. Hinox, I know you have been having a rough time. Well, I personally don't believe that you're homophobic, nor that you deliberately want to cause any drama. Some of your recent comments and actions have been perceived as such. Okay, that's a perfectly valid statement. Then talk to that person that perceives them. So what this looks like a lot to me, I don't know if you've ever seen those, what is it? It's like Fifth Amendment? Those I think it's Fifth Amendment, Third Amendment? No, First Amendment. First Amendment auditors. People who basically just stick like cameras and they just go into like public buildings and they just start filming just to try to trigger people. Sorry, trigger people to try to like kick them out and try to call the cops on them and stuff. And none of them know the law. But like my problem with those is always, even if you finally get like the 6th police officer that knows the law and says it's fine, that person doesn't go to the very first person who called the police, talk to them about how it's explain to them, I mean to say, about how it's perfectly legal and how if they call again, that's a waste of police resources and they will be held liable for that shit in the future. Because if you think something is out of the ordinary or the police needs to look at something, and if you think that, the very next step should be like thinking, wait, is that actually right before you call the police? Because otherwise you're like using up police resources and you get another person potentially into danger because you don't know the laws yourself. And I feel like if you're being a good citizen, that's something that you should be, that should be a you problem, not making it another people problem. So like, oh, these actions were perceived as like drama or like homophobic. Cool, that can happen. You know, I can say something and you can think that that's homophobic. And now the second step is you have to think about, was it actually homophobic? Do I think this person meant to be homophobic? Is this something that I'm just connecting to something else that has nothing to do with the situation? Right? There's a whole bunch of steps in between, therefore acting on it as if it was intended, and right? That there's like a whole bunch of exploration has to happen in between those two steps. And that exploration has to happen by the person who perceives the thing. And it could be like a one-to-one message. Someone want to do risky click of the day? I don't know that one. These actions have sparked a lot of unnecessary drama and concern within the guild. I know Gilly has talked with you about this before as well. Gilly. Was that the red message? I don't know any of these people's names. Oh no, that was like Never or something. A broken Gilly. Oh yeah, I see Gilly, yeah. I did the risky click, it's safe. If it's a cock and balls, I'm banning you forever. You know that, right? Oh, this is an extra comment. Okay, this is also from Gilly. I can see the letters. Yeah, there's probably going to be replies to this. Again, like I said in the beginning, this is very one-sided, his telling of the events, right? So you're always going to be, or you should probably be presenting it the most beneficial to you and the most disfavorable to other people, right? Hopefully he doesn't do that too much, because I think that will hurt his credibility, but everyone has bias, so I don't think we can ever go fully around that. Given the importance of keeping our guild a welcome and drama-free space, we have had to make the tough decision to remove you from the guild. This decision is not a reflection of anyone's personal feelings towards you. That, I mean, you can say that, but that definitely will feel like it is. Hope you understand the position I'm in and that there are no hard feelings. I wish you all the best in your future maple endeavors. So this is what happens when you like let the bullies win. If you know all of this is true and it happened as such, and if this is that message, you know, what this looks like is just you're letting bullies win. And if you're letting bullies win within your community, what's going to happen in the future is just more bullying, more purity testing, more witch hunting, more that stuff. And in the pursuit, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, and the pursuit of trying to create a more inclusive community, you're actually creating a more combative and people trying to look for whoever says the wrong word at the wrong time kind of thing. And again, it's definitely not helped by how defensive Sam gets and how he communicates. That can definitely be perceived as very aggressive. But I think you have to be like a trained content creator or something who reads chat all day, every day, to try to not read into things too much, because you can very easily misunderstand things on the first or even a second or the third read. You have to be like very trained in like communication and stuff like that to be like, there are like 6 ways this could be meant. Let's make sure. And like I said a little bit in the beginning as well, I don't know how many. I wonder if there was, because I could be wrong, but I would be surprised if there was a single one of these conversations that happened over voice in this whole process. I hope that there was, But it seems like a lot of this is just like text and just messaging back and front and like sending screenshots back and forth. I hope that there was some actual human-to-human direct interaction over voice chat, because I feel like these things are pretty serious if you're going to take these kind of decisions and cutting some people, because you're also potentially going to get them like blacklisted by friends of friends of friends, right? That this kind of have like a ripple effect like that. And I feel like you need to have on voice like a specific thing, because to me nothing that happened here like justifies that this is like a big enough deal for this to happen. If anything, it's like other people trying to make it that big of a deal, even though there's like no, doesn't seem a need for it. And then 2 conversations with anonymous members of a friendly guild's leadership team. Partial screenshot reference. I hope they're conversation with an anonymous member of a friendly guild's leadership team. So it's probably like an alliance guild, I'm guessing. Our feelings, person holds him. Opinion of let the game be game, but unfortunately the game is run by the people and they will paint you in the light that they wish. I let people into the guild that weren't always of the opinion of the mob, and it unfortunately leads to difficulties for members to find parties. That weren't always the opinion of the mob, and it unfortunately leads to difficulties for members to find parties. Oh, because then your guild gets like a certain name, and then people who have that name under their guild will not be accepted by other parties. I don't know, like we were looking for a bunch of members for our parties. We had like some Saga members in our party like a few times. They also suddenly just disappeared without communication. Very but again, I'm not gonna hold that to like against like all Saga members, or we're never gonna add Saga members again. Like every person is like their individual. Sure, like you're connected to a guild and to an alliance, and it doesn't mean nothing. But ultimately, you're still like an individual. You don't have to subscribe to anything people say. I know there's a bunch of people out there in like community who like don't like me, even though they probably don't know why, and the people who told them not to like me probably also have no idea why. But like one-on-one, I'm pretty sure I can have a great conversation with just about anyone about anything. I try to make a habit of like always saying hi to everyone whenever I'm like training in a map and there's another person there. I don't look at what guild they're in, what alliance they're in. Like I just that just doesn't matter to me personally, but to other people, apparently, it's a way bigger deal. Going into tribalism and all that shit now. Okay, so we've gone through most of this, so I guess we still have this part here, right? Responses from Pride community. Over the past 2 weeks, several members of the Pride community have expressed publicly and privately their support for my actions. They have come and told me that they did not see me as homophobic, and they believe I'm still trying to be at least civil, if not kind. This includes individuals I run bosses with every week, whom I've treated with nothing but levity and friendliness. They have indicated rightfully that it is clear from my actions that I do not discriminate against people with different sexual orientations. Some have indicated that they understand my religion does not permit homosexuality, but that I have never made them once feel uncomfortable about their personal sexuality. I think that probably shines through more than... But people can't say that, because then you're harassing people or attacking people based on religious grounds, which is like basically the same thing that I don't want other people to do, so they have to stay away from that. They can't mention that, you know. Never been. I'd like to thank members of the Pride community for accurate assessment of my intent. Of course, he would say it's accurate. Other people would say it's inaccurate, but you know, that's the whole disagreement. Social contract and the rule of law. I live in New York. A certificate about the government rule of law. For which every person his right, uninhibited practice of religion, uninhibited preference of any sexual orientation, uninhibited practice of free speech, is submitted to both sets of laws. The legal one used in the court and applied. Social contract and used in daily life and system abiding by them by the best of my abilities may seem pedantic and perhaps overcompensating to some of you, but this is how I approach matters of democracy. My family and I have all lived and been persecuted in China, where both the rule of law and the social contract is not consistently respected. May be difficult to understand for some of you. I think I don't want to misremember this, but I think, was it his dad or his grandpa was like a minister or something in China, and like Christianity within China is not, you know, any religion. It's not in China. You guys may know about like the Uyghurs basically getting fucking internment camped to get reprogrammed as we speak, basically. Yeah. I mean, if anyone knows what it's like to be like prosecuted for having like a minority thought or opinion, like this is the guy who would be like one of your stronger champions. But instead of like trying to see if you can have that conversation, people are just so fucking blinded by moral justice that they'll just do whatever to It's unfortunate because this is truly something that you could have something very positive at the end of this. There could be like a much stronger cohesion and a bond because of, you know, a perceived misunderstanding and working your way through that productively that could come out of this. But instead now it's just, yeah, actual just drama, quote unquote. You know. Response from agitators over the past 2 weeks have been no shortage of smegas, chat messages, and yeah, I don't follow any of that, so I just get spammed by messages when I'm training. I don't see smegas anymore. I don't have the external chat because of Stream. That doesn't work for me. I'm behind my back spreading rumors about my supposed homophobia. I've been made aware. Yeah, even if something, I mean, even if it were true, but even if it's not true, if enough people say it, that people don't care anymore about if it's true or not. It's just easier to accept what everyone thinks than to try to actively try to dig into why that. I understand why you would just go with the masses or whatever people call it. It's just nobody has time to like figure all these stuff out. And if everyone's saying it, there must be some truth to it, right? But there might also not be. That's the current world we live in, Sally. Anyway, I have several doctored screenshots attempting to either take my words out of context or simply lie about what I did. Oh, they're going even further. That's yikes. Okay. Twitch channel has been flooded with sarcastic happy pride messages intent on perpetuating this bullying campaign. Yeah, I don't know if he still streams as much, but I know we don't overlap in time zones that much, so I don't really see him online as much. But I think he's still... Is he still CodeNox? Has he still been streaming? Videos. Past broadcasts. What the hell is going on? 2 months ago? No. Last month? Can I see schedule? Does schedule show when he actually streamed, or that's when he plans to stream, right? Or it should show if you actually did stream, doesn't it show a stream? Oh, he hasn't been streaming. Oh, here, yeah. Oh yeah, he hasn't streamed at all. Or is this not, huh? Do I know how my website works? Has he not been streaming? Ursus? Yeah, I know. Well, Scania. We'll do Ursus in a little bit, sorry. He's been a few times, at least in the last month. Why doesn't it show up there then? Even party members I am known to boss with have received large amounts of coordinated messages asking to remove me from... Ugh, dude, people have got to get a fucking life, dude. How can you think that this is like a positive thing that you're doing for any kind of movement? This, you know, this takes me back to when I did the cooking stream and I put like my dick on the cutting board, and it was like really, it was just like really weird because like people got me like kicked out of Maple Fest for that month. They got me like on probation in the Bean Brigade because they apparently all like messaged Nexon was trying to get me kicked from the Bean Brigade. And I'm like, you guys have like, I feel so bad. Like I'm like a nobody streaming a nobody game. And your guys are like actively going out of your way to try to like take my very non-even livable wage like away from me. Like you guys have like nothing going on in your life. It's so pathetic. But apparently people are operate on that level. But good thing I had like a good rapport with Beam Brigade, and for so long that they were like, there were actually some voices that just wanted to listen to those voices and be like, oh yeah, let's kick him. But that apparently at least I had a few people with like a head on their shoulders and with somewhat balls who were like, well, it's like, sure, this is maybe not good, but like, how like a Twitch ban and like a Beam Brigade ban should never be like, I'm already getting punished. Why would I get double punished for something that has nothing to do with that content, right? And then, so that was wild. But then at least I had people on my side who was like, oh, we'll just like temporarily for like a month or two or something, like not giving Beam Brigade benefits, and then see, you know, afterwards. And then that was just like completely reinstated. But that did overlap with the Maple Fest, so I missed the I think it was the first Corona Maple Fest I missed because of that. And then but yeah, there were quite a lot. And then on Discord, people made like a GIF emote like of my dick in shorts that I still see every now and then that people just use. And it's just it's just so fucking weird. I scarred the maple into... I don't know, it's just so awkward to see like a gif of your own like junk that somebody apparently made the trouble of making and like making a code for and uploading and then spreading, and then that actually started seeing use. It's such a weird thing for people to like have in their mind. It's like, why are you guys making such a big deal out of this? But yeah, I mean, I guess it's the same thing like this. Is like, why is this like so important to some other people? Saga Guild, I'm sorely disappointed in Saga Guild leadership and their collective failure to stand up for equity. I'll make any personal accusation beyond what's necessary to show that transpired events and dependencies. We already read those. But I'll say clearly, you do not deserve to think that you are fighting for equity. I mean, from all of this, I agree with that. But again, you know, this could be contorted or shown in a specific light to give off a certain thing, you know. You said clearly that you do not believe I'm homophobic nor intended to start drama. I think that those two, I mean, those were shown in the screenshots. I think that should be enough, and that should mean, again, just like with the police and with the First Amendment auditors, blah, 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 that you talk to the first person who, like, spread the screenshot with the intent, and you talk to them about them breaking the rules in the Discord and how that should be dealt with, instead of reprimanding the person who's just getting, like, thrown in front of the wolves now. Which is what it looks like, right? Yeah, in the same breath, you claim that 100% at fault due to other people taking screenshots out of context. Since enough people are attacking me, I'm justifiably removed from the guild with zero advance warning. Yeah, I don't know what their policy is on like strikes or, but again, like, you know, if someone owns a guild, someone owns a Discord, they could technically just do whatever the fuck they want to it. But this is also a good moment for other people who are in Saga or are in guilds on that level and stuff to just talk to their management about like, how would we deal with that situation? You know, do we have something in place for like a situation like this? How would we, you know, who would we talk to? What kind of communications would we have? Who would be involved in that process, right? For every guild, I think it's okay to look at this case as well and see like, because something like this could happen if you have a large enough group of people together. How would we deal with this? You know, who would we side with here? So it's a good idea to use this as a test case for your community, for your guild, or whoever is ever watching this and even thinking about this on like a serious level other than ooh, guild drama popcorn, you know, on like how would we in a responsible, mature way like deal with a situation like this, because you know, God forbid that you have to in the moment and then maybe make the wrong call, who knows, right? And if you're in a guild like this and this is how things are dealt with, again, you know, believing that everything we saw here was the full truth or most of the full truth, do you think that that's okay? Or do you think that should be treated differently? And do you think it's like a little not okay or completely not okay or totally okay? You know, have an opinion about this, because or don't, you know, or just completely ignore it and be like, yeah, whatever. If I say some fucked up shit and other people think it's fucked up and I get kicked, I think that's fine. If that's your opinion, then that's your opinion, you know? But at least think about it. Make sure that that is your actual thought about it, you know? I'm sure there's much more I could have done to resolve this peacefully beyond my repeated streams clarifying my civil beliefs towards pride. Yep. What about more? Oh, so he did have streams. Oh, I wish he would link those streams because I can't even see them in his... Oh, maybe he deleted the thoughts. Because maybe they were like getting used and clipped from. That's possible. What more you could have done, refuse to stand up to the mob of agitators that attack a member of your own community. Even worse, you refuse to enact fair punishment to Peter Doggasm for his role in publicizing, potentially misleading innuendo about me in public forums and knowingly inciting the mob to harass me. Your leadership failure is apparent and your lack of action speaks volumes. There is definitely something to say about... It's twofold, right? You don't want to make it someone's like a character attack of how they lead this. You could see it as like a character flaw of someone if they don't have, but if you don't have the rules in place and you don't have the procedure in place and you kind of just have to make a decision in a moment, you're probably going to make kind of like a bad decision. I think it would be a failure of leadership if based on this they don't readdress the rules, rewrite the rules, look back into the process and see how will we deal with this into the future, who will we punish, what kind of evidence would be necessary to kick someone, write it into the guild application as well, like how do we deal with this kind of stuff. I think that if nothing is done in that direction, then I would say that'd probably be kind of like a failure of leadership. But in the moment, like, it's tricky, right? Because what if that Peter guy just has like 60 friends in the guild that will back him up no matter what he says? Do you really want to start like a schism in the guild? Do you want to like, because big guilds like this, they really only work until they break. Like a lot of times what will happen is just like big chunks of these guilds will like break up, or they will separate, they will break into two. Because eventually just, you know, if you have enough, you put enough like hyper competitive like endgame people together, something is eventually gonna break there. It's a really difficult balance to keep everyone's like noses in the same direction and keep everyone trying to have the same purpose and all be able to pass through the same doorway, right? It's basically impossible. So it is a difficult balancing act to do. So that's why I think like I wouldn't necessarily say that this is like a failure of management to like stand up for an individual person, because are you really going to start like a whole bunch of internal guild drama because one person is perceived by most people as right? I maybe would, but then again, a lot of our people are pretty damn chill and way more casual, so I don't think people take things as hard. So it wouldn't work out the same way for like a guild like mine or a community like mine, I'm pretty sure. And you know, as you guys know, like over the years, I'm not really anti like bleeding off a bunch of people because they disagree with something I say. That's happened time and time again. You know, that's why we're still the small small community that we are. And it's not like because you're trying to be contrarian or something. It's just because I will have some things that you might think are not my opinions, and then maybe a year later you figure out that that's my opinion and that's incommensurate with your view of me or with what you want to support, and then you don't support me anymore. Like, that's honestly okay. As long as you take some time to like really think about that and really address that and think if that is like a fatal flaw that you can't overcome, and then you decide that it isn't, that's cool with me. You know, as long as you don't do it like on first glance. Hopefully I can instill at least a little bit of that thought process into people over the time that I do have where people consume my content. At the very least, you could have let me keep noblesse skills until the end of the week, so 5 other people aren't failing their bossing run in the middle of the week. It took you 2 weeks to even prepare a gaslighting message. What harm is there in 3? I think it's probably doing like C Kalos normal calling, I'm guessing, where I don't know if the noblesse skills, what is it, like 20 extra IED? Is that impactful? I mean, you could just join like another guild with like 39 skill points and then just run like a day later or something if he needs time to get access to the G skills, and then just still run the same. Or are people not allowed to like run with people from outside the guild or something? Ugh, that would... I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's common for rules at like guilds at that level. I would think it's weird when people like leave the guild to join another party. It's like, can't you join that party from this? I don't understand how those things are, how one follows from the other there. I don't understand. Moving forward. Oh my god, we're almost through this, guys. Last part. I need to pee so badly. It's a Friday, June 14th. So that's, yeah. Oh, so that's what probably when Sam sent this message to me, yeah. Terminating content creation permanently, as I alluded to in the prior document with the anti-Semitic incident. Being a public face in the MIP story community is no longer rewarding nor enjoyable. I, you know, to varying degrees, have felt similarly. This is the final straw. I do not wish, although he's like more outspoken about certain things, so I think he's getting like an extra level version of what I am getting. Although I think I have more hours of content, so I think people can get more context for everything around me. So maybe that helps in people not being able to get taken as much. But he has like, you know, full-time job and everything, so he doesn't do this for as many hours. So there's less counter stuff of him out there. Probably has fewer people with eyes on him that would fight for him and would try to talk to people. And then as a result, people just more likely to just only see the bad stuff is I think is what's happening to him. Again, especially considering like if you take all of this here mostly at face value. If you all know, it's not possible to play this game without a guild. You can, I feel like you can do all the things in this game with like a rank 50 guild. I don't think you have to have a rank 1 guild, but there's definitely some specific stuff that is a whole lot easier if you have like a top 5 guild for sure. But I am very like, if someone says you can't do this without this, I'm always like, well, you know, that's my personality. People probably hate that part, but like I'm always like, do you have to do? Well, technically you don't have to do that. You can work around this. You know, like, do I have to get Absalab gear on bossing? Like, nah, you can get like Tyrant shoes. You know, like, but that's not for everyone. Contemplate whether I could continue this journey with a new guild. If one will be made available to me. However, after recent conversation with Saga leadership, I've come to the conclusion that no matter what kind of effort I make in clarifying and repeating myself, this community will continue to believe I am a hateful and homophobic person, spreading screenshots with no context or spamming my inboxes without end. I really wonder, it's got to be like a generation gap. I feel like it's just like mostly like 21-year-olds, right? Who are like liberal arts college like level, like super fucking woke. Gender studies bullshit, like that stereotype. It almost feels like it's like that's actually really big group. That's like the negative side of like, I think what's otherwise a very inclusive game, MapleStory. I know there's just like a lot of people in, like if you look at the type of different groups of people who play MapleStory versus like, you know, like an average FPS game or something, it's way more diverse, right? Which would be a good thing, but if you're not going to have those harder conversations, then you're just recreating with a different group, like the same environment, eventually. I'm not a saint that much is... I'm not a saint that... Is that a Jesse J lyric? That wasn't cool, but what you did, that wasn't cool. I think it's a Jesse J song. I'm not a saint. No, not at all. That's the line, I think. All kinds of character defects and complex, and I'm chronically overworked with a short temper. I like that he acknowledges that. He has a he has a pretty short fuse. I'm easily incensed by trolls and responding without much thought. After being, but then again, yes, you just need someone to reach out and to talk to them and be like, hey, you know, like this is gonna come across this way, and like, we're on your side and stuff, and we're gonna probably like delete messages, but you need to be more careful as well in like how you communicate, because if this, it's also very possible this is not the first time or the second time or the third time or the fourth time something like this kind of happened, and if it's like the 5th time, people in management would be like, fuck it, dude, like there's always problems with this guy, you know. Because if you're like the common denominator in a lot of things, you know, if everyone you meet in your life is an asshole, then you're probably the asshole, right? Stuff like that can also very easily start like happening. After being continuously gaslit and being victim blamed, it does feel a little bit cry-bullyish though. What the was it Peter? I don't remember the yellow name, Dawn something, the Gasm guy. Was doing. Unable to continue to play this game without it affecting my mental health. That seems what's going on. Otherwise, you wouldn't write this fucking wall of text. I'll continue to run weekly bosses with my respective parties until such time as they are satisfied with a replacement. Then I'll quit the game and dedicate more time to my more noble pursuits, serving my community in tangible ways, not grandstanding on the internet. But how can you do that without making any content, though? That'll be interesting, how he's going to serve his community without making any content. I'd be interested in seeing what that's going to be. So it's been a pleasure to make content for you these past 7 years. It's been a long time, dude. And even though it's been increasingly plagued with nonsense, best of luck on Shining Star Force, and I hope this will serve as a cautionary tale against becoming a content creator. Well, I guess some aspects of becoming a content creator, because it's not, people think it's just like you turn on OBS and then you click go live and then you upload to YouTube and you just become a millionaire. Some people think that's actually that's actually what it is, which is hilarious. But yes. And what was this other message? Someone said, okay, so I get kicked for those initial in-game comments. So talk with the involved parties behind closed doors. Okay, so maybe there was actually voice-to-voice. That would be good if that were the case. It was resolved, but Nox kept feeding into it, blowing up the DAO, which resulted in this decision. Yeah, so there could be other messages, or could be other conversations that he didn't include in his thing that could completely shift that. That's always possible. or it might even be not ill-willed, right? It could be messages that he doesn't think were very important at all, but the totality of all of those messages could paint a completely opposite picture to what he's saying. That's always possible. But if you are the one who thinks you're like doing the right thing and you're like objectively giving all the information, you might just not think of adding those things, right? I don't really see a point in keeping this convo going for days. If you got questions, message me about it. Please, let's play my story together. It's Rune EXP Day. Oh, so this is messages from yesterday, it seems, right? So Sunday was the big Rune EXP. And in 2 weeks, we have another one of those Sundays. Yeah, so I think this is like I don't know. At a certain point, you probably start feeling like you shouldn't have to constantly like apologize for who you are. I get that. But also, if you keep running into these situations over and over, is it always everyone else, or is it sometimes you? That's something to think about, and that's a level of... I think there's a level of kind of just like letting things go and ignoring things that could have prevented possibly the situation blowing up as far. But if you feel like constantly everyone is always out to get you, and they give reasons to make you feel that over and over, yeah, I would probably be in the camp of like, fuck this shit, I'm just out, you know? Or either like, I'm gonna ignore this, and if they say they're gonna kick me, whatever, I'm just gonna leave. Like, I don't need this shit in my life. But if it feels like he's still trying to like constantly fight the fight, and what he seems as like injustice to his character and to his statements. But yeah, a lot of times, like like that one quote that he used here in the beginning, right? It doesn't really matter past a certain point what you really meant. What matters is how everyone perceives what you were saying. That will end up being just more important. Sometimes, like, what you say isn't the most important thing, but how you say it ends up being more important. You know. So yeah, I mean, I hope Sam moves on to bigger and better things, and that this doesn't affect his mental health more. I hope that. And also, I hope that guilds look at this like situation and have a conversation with their management, some kind of contingency plan about like, what do we do if this happens? At what point do we intervene? Who does that? Who has the conversations with whom? What are the parties involved? Just to kind of like write out like just like a small script of like what to follow, just to be prepared in case it happens, because it helps so much rather than to have to figure it out in the moment as it's developing, as people start spamming things and spreading information and things blow up. It's so good to have kind of a not a walkthrough. What is the word for it? We call it a draaiboek. What the fuck is a script? Not a template, something like that, right? To have a playbook. Yeah, so a little bit of like, in case this happens, what do we do? You know, like what is our general approach to this? And it sucks that, you know, this is not the last time something like this happens. Hopefully it is, but it's definitely not the first either, right? And I think it's up to everyone. If you want to be a good guild leader, if you want to be a good community leader, if you want to have a community that like works together and you know, works forward and everything, that you make sure that you don't overcorrect, right? Yeah, because in trying to make a more inclusive community for everyone, if you get this aggressive with it, then you could end up doing the exact opposite of what you were setting out to do. So, I mean, as always, I hope, I want to believe that everyone had like the best intentions here. Peter's initial remark, you know, even though I think maybe not in the right context, I think wasn't that horrible of a message. From the screenshots we saw, it seems like other people kept bringing it up, and Sam felt like he kept having to defend himself, and then people read it as, oh my god, Sam wants to shut up about this shit. When, at least from the screenshots that we saw, he's the one who's constantly, like, it keeps getting mentioned and feels like he's getting targeted all the time, so he has to do something to defend himself. I don't know where that's connected to. That probably has to do with like the persecution of his family and back in China and all that stuff. When you're like, if you stay silent, what was the whole thing? Like if you, they came for my neighbors and I stayed silent, and then you know, and then everyone was gone. That gets used by like bad people in bad context. But there is a truth to it where if you see something, say something, right? Like that thing because all it takes. What was it? What is the thing? What is the to end with all of the all of the one-liners. All it takes for evil to happen is for good men to do nothing, or something, right? Is it all because he didn't like the guild emblem colors and threatened to quit the guild? He didn't threaten to quit the guild. I don't think that's a fair reading of that. He said that, but I think that was very clearly hyperbole. It's like, oh my god, if you change the guild, I'm leaving, bro. Like, I would not have taken that seriously. But again, that's because I read Twitch chat all day, every day, and I have made the mistake many times in the past of taking things at face value and being like, and then people responding to me like, huh, how could you possibly read it that way? And it's like, because that's the words you fucking wrote, you imbecile. But then I am the weirdo for actually taking people at face value. It's like, obviously I was joking. It's like, oh, okay. That's why as stupid as it is, I've told a lot of people like, hey, if you're making like an obvious joke and you reasonably, it could be misinterpreted, please put like a kappa. Don't always put a kappa, but put like some kind of emoji in there so I know it's a fucking joke, okay? Just so I don't have to think or second guess every single message with like, is this serious or is this not serious, right? Just put an emoji in there, right? This is why I communicate with emojis way too much. Almost every single sentence I send to people, or every single paragraph I send to people, has some kind of emoji or facial expression at the end, just to give it a little bit of extra vibe of like, this is the intent with which I'm sending this message. It shouldn't be necessary, but it's very easy to miss out on important things like that and context if you don't. So again, hopefully a case of learning. It sucks that this is like the umpteenth time something like that happens to Sam. It's probably not a coincidence. Not saying that he has like a horrible personality, but people have different types of personalities, different strong personalities, and strong personalities are just going to have more shit happen to them because you are more competitive in that sense, in that you want things to be expressed and you want people to actually say what they mean and not just kind of like play in the shadows. So you kind of like reap the rewards and the downsides at the same time from that thing. If you have a stronger personality, probably like in content creation and stuff like that, you're going to have typically a more specific appeal, but you're never going to have the broadest appeal. You're always going to have the public perception against you in situations like this. That's just always going to happen. Yeah. All right. So hopefully this, if there's any like, follow up or anyone who has like, thinks there's like anything that I said that's like hugely wrong or completely disagrees, make sure you can always reach out to me. I'm always open to that. So reach out on Discord or something, or leave a comment or anything like that. And I don't think this is going to be like a 16 document back and forth reaction to the reaction to the reaction to the reaction kind of thing like last time. I don't think that's going to happen. So this probably is going to just be a one and done. But yeah, hopefully something to learn from for all the parties involved. And even for the people who are not involved and who are just reading about this, something that you can, keep in mind in terms of like, how do messages get perceived? How do they get spread? What is a type of personality for you to look out for in both senses, in people that you do want to associate with or don't want to associate with at all? And in terms of guild management, what kind of rules do you set up? How do you write your rules? And staying open to refreshing and updating your rules and regulations as a guild, as a community, as things happen, as things transpire, and as you want to prevent other things from happening in the future. So yeah, thanks for checking it out, and see you in the next one.